Works Minister Patricia is vowing to keep her department's tender processes transparent. The good leader is the only member of the opposition who's made it into President Cyril Ramaphosa's cabinet. We can now speak to Patricia joining us via, in fact, she's in our Cape Town studios, I understand, this morning. Minister, very good morning to you, and thank you for your time. One of the things you've put on the table is opening the tender process up to the public, but how open will open be?
Well, what we mean by that, Tembekile, is that the process, the start of the tender process, where certain companies will put in a bid, and then the department must evaluate the bids. So the bid evaluation committee will be open to the public. The public will be allowed to sit there and observe and to scrutinize. When I say the public, everybody except politicians. Thereafter, when the tender committee must make a final decision, the bid adjudication committee, that process will also be open to the public, where people can come in and sit and observe the process. We're also going to look at how can we use more digital and technology to further open up our tender process. But it is the beginning. As you know, the Department of Public Works deal with major infrastructure projects, and those projects is meant for the people of this country, and therefore they must have access to see what we intend to deliver to them.
Would this happen across departments, Minister?
Well, I'm not sure about the other departments. As you know, I'm very new in the post. I've got a mandate to make sure that we clean up the department. And one of the best remedies for corruption is sunshine. It's transparency. So I'm sure there are other measures in other departments too.
So by your assessment then, just where Public Works is concerned, which is where you are responsible, the opening up of the process to public scrutiny, do you expect that to have any sort of impact on the turnaround time around the various projects? Because at the end of the day, you also want to be able to finalize matters quite speedily.
Yes, most certainly. We are looking at the turnaround times. And, you know, the process are normally prescribed. But where the laws say that you can do something within 30 days, you certainly don't have to wait for day 30 before you do it. You can do it sooner. So we are looking at the methodology of planning. We are looking at the methodology that's being used in the supply chain management to stay within the framework of the Public Finance Management Act. Yes, because it does take long. Sometimes it can take a few years. And so we are examining all of those outstanding tenders so that we can make sure that we conclude them quicker.
Let me ask you about something else you've put forward, and this is your plea to your colleagues in the executive for austerity while final guidelines on just spending are developed. How long a process do we expect that to be? Because there is quite a big focus on trying to get the executive and government as a whole to spend as little as possible.
Well, I think we got a message loud and clear from President Ramaphosa that we need to bring about austerity measures. And as leaders, we must lead by example, and starting with us first. So, yes, ministers will not be allowed to buy new furniture for their state-owned homes or for their offices. It's a small measure, but it's going to help at the end of the day that we save millions of rand. And so other departments are also look at how we can cut the wage bill for public servants. The same with members of parliament living in the parliamentary villages. We also made an appeal to them that we will replace or repair broken furniture, but, you know, there's absolutely no budget to buy new furniture.
Lifestyle audits also coming up. They're due to begin in August, so less than a month from now. We would expect those to begin in some form. And you've said that you want yours to be done first. This will go on until, what, June of 2020? What is the scope of these audits, Minister?
Well, first of all, again, that in the SONA address of 2018, President Cyril Ramaphosa made that call for lifestyle orders. So as the Department of Public Works and Infrastructure, we are going to implement that now in August and hope to conclude it by June 2020. And because, again, I want to lead by example, I said, you know, it should start with me first, and then we do all the senior managers in the Department of Public Works. Because, you know, if we are really serious about rooting out corruption, we have to make sure that, you know, we put the checks and balances in place so that, you know, corruption has become a disease, and it's a contagious disease. And if we want to stop it, we need to make sure that we develop ethical leadership that can lead our departments and it can lead our country.
Mm-hmm. I want to get your thoughts on something else, Minister, because you were Mayor
Yes.
of Cape Town. We've seen now in the last 24 hours the arrival in the city of members of the SANDF to try and help fight the gangsterism problem there. Just your reaction as you finally begin to see the sort of movement of the arrival of the army. Is it a step in the right direction?
Well, when I was the mayor of the city of Cape Town, I always had a two-pronged approach. We have to also deal with the socio-economic conditions under which people live in the Cape Flats. The people in the Cape Flats have been dumped there about 60 years ago, and they were forcibly removed from town. So there are a lot of social dynamics also. We need more social workers in the community. We need to look at the school dropouts. And then on the other side, you also have to have law enforcement. But you can't have the one without the other. And so seeing that the police and the army has moved in, it is a critical situation where over 2,000 people have died in the past year. So we can only hope that the Defence Force and the police will stabilize the situation, but we do need to look at medium and long-term solutions too.
Public Works Minister Patricia, thank you so much for your time this morning. Much more news for you when we return. Stay with ENCA now.